Are you a big fan of anime where the MC is reincarnated into another world? Would you like to know about some isekai anime where the MC is reincarnated as a villain? Well, you're in luck as this is the place to come to find out. Welcome back to Comet's Top 5s, where today we will be counting down our picks for the top 5 anime where the MC is reincarnated as a villain. If you want to see more content like this, make sure to like the video, hit that subscribe button, as well as click that bell icon for notifications on upcoming content. With that said, let's jump right into our top 5 picks, shall we? Number 5, Overlord. It should be no surprise that we started our list off with the anime Overlord, as the characters themselves are straight up villainous out of a manga, quite literally. I mean, how could I pass up talking about an anime where the MC wakes up in the body of his badass video game character as the great overlord of the Tomb of Nazarick? Not only that, but he gets to guide the NPCs that his fellow guild members created before they left the game, and this became his new reality. Who doesn't like watching Ainz's reaction to the NPCs that now have lives and actions far beyond what their original coding may have intended? We even get to see this affect Ainz, as his character being an undead doesn't feel much emotion. I gotta say, it's awesome when he lets that colder side take over, and he has his floor guardians demolish their enemies outside of Nazarick. I mean, let's be real, for anyone who has seen Overlord, we watch it for the villainous deeds Ainz in the Tomb of Nazarick get into. But hey, if you want something else to convince you, he does also pretend to be this world's strongest adamantite hero, Momon the Adventurer, which is pretty villainous if you ask me. Number 4, My Next Life as a Villainess, All Routes Lead to Doom. Next up on the list had to be My Next Life as a Villainess, All Routes Lead to Doom. As the title suggests, it follows a character who is considered a villainess. Now, that isn't exactly who Catarina Claes is. Well, let me explain. My Next Life as a Villainess follows a character who is reincarnated into the world of an Otome game, where she embodies quite literally the role of the main antagonist, Catarina. Knowing the game and receiving her memories early on due to an accident, she slowly starts to formulate a plan to avoid her impending doom as the game's antagonist character. Of course, this backfires for Catarina, and it has the opposite effect, as now instead of being hated as the villainess, every main character of the game is absolutely in love with her. So, while she managed to dodge all the death flags, she inadvertently triggered all the romance flags instead. Now I am sure you are thinking, how is this a bad thing? Well, as the anime progresses and changes drastically from what she remembers from her past life, it becomes harder and harder for her to avoid her impending doom. If you want a pretty wholesome anime about a villainess, this anime is for you. Number 3, Demon Lord Retry. Who wouldn't want to fall asleep only to wake up in their in-game character? Especially if that character was one they ranked up to be super powerful. No, I'm not talking about Overlord again. I'm talking about Demon Lord Retry. This anime follows Akira Ono, who is in the midst of shutting down his MMORPG creation, Infinity game, when, like every classic isekai anime involving MMORPGs, he wakes up in the body of his super OP character, Hakuto Kunai, who he created to be a demon lord. Now it doesn't stop there, as this world of Infinity game not only has sociological issues between the Kingdom of Holy Light and the Satanist cult, but his reputation as the demon lord continues to grow at an alarming rate as he continues traveling across the land. He even gained a trusty partner/daughter figure, Aku, who he saved from being a sacrifice to the demon Grail. Considering he never created either of these characters in the original Infinity game, Akira sets out on a journey with Aku to figure out just how he came into this world that resembles his MMORPG. If you are looking for a more comedic and wholesome take on the Demon Lord genre, then Demon Lord Retry is worth a watch. Number 2, Redo of Healer. So there is no surprise that I had to include Redo of Healer on this list, as some of the things he does throughout the anime could be considered villainous. This anime follows Kaoru, who is a healing class magician who is physically and sexually abused by the members in the hero's party, who are tasked with taking down the Demon Lord. After Kaoru realizes his potential as a mage, it is too late, so upon defeating the Demon Lord, he uses the Philosopher's Stone to travel back in time 4 years and get revenge on those in the world who abused him. Now I know a lot of you who have seen the anime may not vibe with the actions that Kaoru takes for revenge. I will be the first to admit, he does go to the extreme in some cases, but nonetheless, he is justified in his revenge, even if he takes it too far most of the time. Not only does Kaoru get his revenge on those who wronged him, but he also becomes insanely powerful in the process. If you are looking for a great revenge story where the MC gets their justice, then Redo of Healer is the anime for you. Now we can't have a top 5 list without some honorable mentions. So I'm a spider, so what? Now, although Kumiko is not technically a villain, we had to mention her on our list because she is perceived as a villain being reincarnated as a spider monster. Let's not forget, over time she gains the power of evil eyes, which allows her to give other people or monsters status effects just by looking at them. Since she is a spider and has 8 eyes, she can use up to 8 different status effects at the same time. This comes at a cost that she later negates due to just being so overpowered as a monster. Not only can she create parallel minds that focus on different aspects of the abilities she has, but she can also use dimensional maneuvering and is pretty much immune to any attack you could throw at her. This, to anyone who doesn't know her origins, makes her a pretty villainous character, especially when throughout the series, not only is she being chased by her siblings, but her OP mother as well. On the outside looking in, Kumiko is definitely a monster you would want to run away from. Bastard. Now, I couldn't pass up the opportunity to talk about Dark Schneider, the evil incarnate from the Netflix show Bastard. Now, for reference, Dark Schneider is considered one of the most powerful beings in the show thus far. Or that is what he would like you to believe, especially as the former leader of the Dark Rebel Army, whose main objective was to conquer the world. Not only was Dark Schneider insanely cruel before his reincarnation, but he did not care who he had to step on to get where he wanted to be. Even now, after his reincarnation and dilution, he is still a pretty cold bastard, with the exception that his black heart may have grown a little compassion, being bound to a child host. Even so, he is still bent on conquering the world, but with the caveat that Yoko would be his bride. Not much has changed from Dark Schneider as far as his villainy goes, which is why he deserved a spot in our honorable mentions. Number 1. The Saga of Tanya the Evil. Now, out of all the anime on this list, if we were truly talking about pure evil when it comes to being a villain, it is no contest that Tanya von de Khrushchev takes the cake, as she is one of the coldest and cruelest anime MCs on this list. So much so that she could probably put Demiurge from Overlord to shame if it suited her needs. This anime follows an MC that is so arrogant and cocky that upon him being murdered, he refused to believe in the god of reincarnation, who stopped time to have a conversation with him about his faith. This caused the god of reincarnation to reincarnate our MC into the body of a little girl, born to suffer in hopes that through suffering, he would find faith in the god of reincarnation. Of course, this backfires on the god, as our MC Tanya is born into a war-torn world, where she has a high aptitude for magic, allowing her to enlist in the military. With her determination to spit in the face of this god, she works her way up the ladder and finds herself at the rank of lieutenant by the age of 10, even receiving the nickname, the Devil of the Rhine. Not only is Tanya extremely ruthless when it comes to moving up ranks, but she will step on the backs of anyone, and even indirectly and sometimes directly, kill anyone that gets in her way. Let's not forget that insanely evil grin she gets when a plan falls into place for her too. It's for these reasons why Tanya just had to make our number 1 spot when it comes to reincarnated villains. Well, that's our picks for the top 5 anime where the MC is reincarnated as a villain. What did you think of our top 5? What MCs would you have added or changed? You can let us know in the comments down below. Make sure that if you like this video to smash that subscribe button, as well as click that bell icon to stay up to date on our content as it comes out. And thanks for tuning into Comet's Top 5s, and I'll see you on our next top 5 video.